was very interesting. So let's imagine, if you will, we're going through a photo album. So let's move through. Now this is your great-grandfather, is it here?
Yeah, that's one of my ancestors, the last ruling Nawab, which is the Nawab Rasul Khan, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then we have here your...
that's my grandfather.
Your grandfather, who
Nawab
I
Shaji Ul
believe
Mulk.
was involved in the freedom and fighting for freedom as
That
well.
was the last picture.
Okay.
Because we were the allies with the Tipu Sultan.
Okay.
And we fought the British. So we're one of those families who choose to fight rather than be an ally. And so the family is called the Freedom Fighters of India, basically.
Okay. Yeah. So it's quite actually a lofty family history to have, to be part of a family that was involved in moving India towards independence.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This is your father.
That's right, yeah.
Nawab Alaf Khan.
Nawab Khan, yes.
Nawab Alaf. What was he like?
My father, as you can, the man we really were very proud about. Very charismatic, a true Nawab. He followed his passion. And I'm very proud of his achievement that he played for India as an international footballer, actually.
Okay, so he was a sportsman as well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because you were a sportsman. We're going to get to that.
Yeah, we all have inherited his genes in sports, I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think I have here, your mother is in this photo as well, correct?
Yeah, it's a bit dark in the light.
It's a bit dark.
That's the whole family, that's right, yeah.
Now, was she different from, who was more of an influence, I think, when you were growing up? Your
mother definitely, because my father used to be away, playing professional football in Calcutta most of the time. So mother was the main influencing factor for us, always. So she is the one we lived with, and all the values came to us from the mother, actually.
Okay. Any words of wisdom? Do you remember if she had such an influence on you? Were there things that she kind of made sure you always remember?
Yeah, that's right. The values I just talked to you about.
Okay.
Where she said, it's not the past. You need to be who you are. You need to gain respect for yourself, were the mother's words. And that has carried us and our family all the time. Because now, whatever we have achieved is from those values, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 3 brothers rocking the mustaches.
Yeah, that's my young times picture, yeah. 3 of us, that's right, yeah.
Okay. And you have 3 sisters as well, so quite a big
we have a family of 6, yeah, three brothers and 3 sisters, and they're all here.
Oh, do you think they all look alike?
I'm the one in the center. That's me. Yeah.
So tell us, what was it like, I think, growing up at that time? When you excelled, I mean, you're one of those few people that I've met who is a jack of all trades. You were great at academics, great at sports, and then now, well, clearly, as your success story shows, great at business too. So were you different in your family in that sense, being able to be good at all these things?
I think the combination of a competitive spirit being wanting to be the best was always there. Be it studies, be it sports, you're always trying to achieve. And it came from a father who always said, if you do something, you have to be the best. And then there's always this thing, of course, being good at academics is something I think you're gifted. You're a good student or you're not. So that came in. But then there's always this, we're always striving to be excellent in whatever we do. So that's how it went, basically, yeah.
Okay. And what did you see yourself doing? I think at that stage, we all visualize careers for ourselves in the future. What did you think you would be doing professionally at that point? Say, as a late teen.
Yeah, one thing is very clear in my mind, to be a businessman. There was never a doubt.
So you knew it at that point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Because, hearing the stories of my grandfather, who was a very serious businessman, after monarchy, he actually turned into a businessman, and my father was also involved into the family business. So doing business was always very, very clear for me, not my brothers. My brothers were more into, let's say, one is a doctor, another an engineer, my
so you made your family happy, because we all know how Indian families are all about being a doctor, an engineer, a banker.
Okay. That's right, yeah.
Okay. Now tell me, where did the impetus come to, why did you leave India, for instance? So I imagine you come from a well-known family, you have that kind of lineage, you have privilege. So why leave and come to a foreign land? Why?
No, that was my, I was getting the visa to the US for my education.
Okay, so you applied to Wharton, okay.
Yeah. Because then my sister was here in UAE, and then I came here to get my visa to study abroad, basically. And then when I came to the UAE, it's about a year, passed my TOEFL and GMAT. So the main reason for me to come to the UAE started off being to get a visa to the US so that I can go and study.
Okay, so this was just supposed to be a pit stop. You were going to leave UAE, go straight to Wharton, and make it as a businessman after. What changed? Because you walked away from Wharton, and I can tell you hands down, if I spoke to a mix of folks that I know, anywhere from their mid-20s to mid-30s, who just idolize the idea of going to business school, the fact that you left Wharton sounds crazy. Why did you do that?
Well, I think that's a bit of a story. You know, I did everything at that time. I mean, it meant got my admission, paid the fees, and I got a letter from my university saying 7 days before my flight that the university bus will take you to the campus. But then, in a year, I was already into business. And by that time, what I had done was, had gone into business myself. So in
What kind of business was it?
Those days, there was an agency being given by the British company called Gordon Sibbins for manufacturing ceiling tiles. So I had taken an agency, and so I was already into business a little bit. And then I was doubtful. My cricket captain those days was a guy called Sundar Chainani, and he was an established businessman here. They're the ones who formed the Rivoli group and all that here. And so I looked up to him and I went to him and said, look, I'm in double mind. And I've got this flight to take next week for my education. And so I'm already into business. So what do you think? He asked me one question. He said, what's your aspiration? What do you want to be? You want to be a CEO of a large company, or you want to be a businessman? That was clear. For me, being in business was a clear-cut option. So I said, no, I want to be a businessman. Then he said, don't go. And when I went to ask him, my instinct was, I don't want to go. I want to do business.
So you already had made the decision. You just wanted him to validate it, basically.
I think yes. I needed somebody to say, yes, my decision is right.
But
and I just backed my instinct, yes.
So you'd already gotten into business.
Yeah.
Ceiling tiles. Why ceiling? I mean, how did that happen? You knew nothing about that industry or that particular product, for instance. The business you had at the time was this agency that manufactured ceiling tiles. Something I imagine that you were not very familiar with. So how did you, I guess, become successful with that first endeavor? Enough to feel that I don't have to go to Wharton. I know I can be good at this.
No, I think it's more of an instinct where you feel confident about what you want to do in life, basically. And thinking ahead. Business is the journey, of course. You know, you get started, and then, so at that time for me, doing something small, it was very small setup. I had only about 6 people.
Do you remember where the building was? Do you remember still? Where was it, your office?
In Rashidia, yes.
In Rashidia,
yes, in Rashidia, a small setup, and I had only about 6 people working for me. And, but then I had started, you see, nothing succeeds like success. So I had tasted success. So there was money coming in, the business was happening, and for me, the instinct was I'm on the right path. So I need to continue on that.
So you trusted your gut?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just following your instinct, basically.
So starting from ceiling tiles to where you are now, which is Mulk Holdings, I think Well, this is another journey down memory. This
That's
is a
the
famous
Indian captain Azharuddin.
Mohammed
Yeah.
Azharuddin. Yes. So here we are, Mulk Holdings. You're headquartered in Hamriya.
Yeah, that's our head office
in
Abu Dhabi.
Sharjah.
Yeah.
All over the world, a valuation that has touching or has probably crossed $2 billion US. How did that happen? What were the stepping stones or the rungs that took you from this company that dealt with ceiling tiles to this?